I wanted to connect with you this morning, not so much about dancing, but about coping with COVID-19. I'm not sure how many of you are aware, but I'm also an educational psychologist and I teach at New York University as well as Southern Connecticut State University. The courses I teach are mostly around mental health and wellness, psychological testing, research methods, so there's quite a broad span. But I wanted to talk with all of you about coping in this situation because this is something that's so different and so new for all of us, and the more resources we can have, the better. I have created a presentation which I'm going to share with you down below, so you can click the link for the Google Slides document or download a PDF. I have, it's just like our title slide, here we go, coping with COVID-19, during COVID-19 I should say. And it's really looking at wellness and our new normal. A lot of us are finding ourselves in situations that we never anticipated. So what we're going to discuss today is simply the first point, oh my God, what is happening? Talking about the news and of course making sure to follow local guidelines. The next topic is my school is canceled. My dance is canceled, my work is canceled. What on earth do I do? How do I navigate this? I have no idea, I have no clue. So that's the next part. And then we talk about, how do I stay sane in this very uneasy time where we're all feeling quite a bit anxious. And lastly, of course, I have some resources for you in the event that you would like some more information. So the first things first. Oh my God, what's happening? Well, I'm not a COVID-19 expert. I'm not a medical doctor. So I'm going to ask that you refer to the CDC's website, and I have a link in the presentation for which you can access all of the information that you need as it relates to COVID-19. Then, of course, check your local community resources because every community is dealing with this in a very different way, and every community's exposure level is different. So don't just follow the national news, make sure that you're also looking at your local news and staying connected to your local community resources so that you know how best to keep yourself safe and healthy and your family safe and healthy during this time. Let's see. Please take this seriously. This is not a time to say, it's no big deal. Again, this is something that none of us have experienced in our lifetimes, and we need to follow the advice of the professionals when it comes to how to manage and cope during this COVID-19 outbreak. And again, like I said, this is something that's new for all of us, so you are not alone in the feelings that you're having as they relate to fear, anxiety, uncertainty, frustration, disbelief. All of these things are so normal. So please don't feel that you're abnormal or that you're freaking out or anything like this. What you're experiencing are very normal feelings for a very, very difficult situation. Okay. And moving along, the next thing, of course, I live in Connecticut and I teach in New York and in Connecticut, and like I said, the nation is in very different places depending on where you are. And as of last week, we were completely online and digital for both of the universities where I teach. And as of Friday this past week, my son's school canceled indefinitely. So he's 11 years old. And so the first thing he said is, oh my gosh, my school's canceled. No problem, it's gonna be fine, right? So that was his take. And then, because he's 11 and no school, oh, this is so amazing, this is cool. But I also teach teenagers in local ballet schools, and their response is very different. Their response is one of more panic and feeling lost. What am I going to do with myself? What am I going to do with this time? This is so weird. How am I going to see my friends? There are all of these kinds of questions swirling around. So I just wanted to talk about those things as they relate to school. If you're still in school, of course, make sure that you're communicating with your school district about everything that's going on, and keep those lines of communication open always. Let's see. And no matter where we are and no matter what phase we are in, if we have school canceled, if we're doing online learning, if we're, have packets sent home, whatever the case might be, that no matter where we are, we can always learn, okay? Please, try to stay as optimistic about this as possible. And know, again, just that wherever we are, we can learn. So something that I've learned a lot about in working at NYU, I also teach in their online campus. So counseling at NYU has a wonderful online program. So I've taught there for quite a while, and there are some things that working there has really taught me. In the beginning, I was nervous. I thought, well, how am I going to connect with my students, and what's it going to be like having students in little boxes online, and am I gonna make relationships with them? How is this gonna work? Is it gonna be okay? And I had a lot of anxiety about it, but what I've learned is that, of course, learning is portable. You can take it anywhere, you can teach from anywhere. I have taught from my home, I have taught from my husband's home in Germany, I've taught from all over the place, and my students are always accessible, which is wonderful. And another thing that's really cool is that with online learning can happen in your fuzzy slippers, which is really fun. You don't necessarily have to go out of the house in very uncomfortable stilettos or things like that and kind of tromp through the city and get your heels stuck in the sewer grates and all these fun and exciting things that normally happen. You can wear these, which is great. Anyway, I just had to inject a little bit of humor. Let's see, and connecting in an online community feels really good because it's not one-sided. You are having conversations. It's just like, when you FaceTime your parents or your grandparents or your close friend or something, it feels like you're right there in the same room together, and that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And the last thing that teaching online at NYU has really taught me is that sharing a physical space isn't necessary to build community, and it's not necessary to learn. It's just a convention that we're used to. However, it's completely unnecessary, and I've built relationships with so many students over the course of the past few years in teaching online, and it has been the most wonderful experience. Okay, so next thing, so now you're home, you're maybe online, maybe not, maybe you have these packets, maybe you don't, who knows, but the thing is, time is yours. You can do what you want, right? And if you're a kid, you probably have your parents being like, I have to work, like, don't bother me, go do something else. Or if you're a parent or an adult and you're trying to work out your work schedule, you're thinking, yeah, I think I might just go downstairs and just have one more cup of coffee. And these kinds of things are fine. And again, really, really normal. So the biggest thing about working from home and working online, whether you're an adult or if you're a kid in school, is that you make a schedule and you stick to it. That was one of the very first things I did with my son when he discovered, of course, that we were going to be fancy-free for who knows how long. I said, wait, we have to make a schedule for you. And he actually bought right into it, and he designed the schedule himself. He thought it was pretty fantastic. Okay, so, and try not to make your schedule too different from what you're already used to. We're all creatures of habit, so as long as it feels normal to us, then so much the better. The other thing that, of course, my son decided to build in was more time to sleep in, and a longer lunch, because at school they get like 20 minutes. He's like, Mom, I need more than 20 minutes to eat my lunch. You know me, I like to talk, and I like to do all these other things, and I'm eating my lunch, and so I need more than 20 minutes. I was like, babe, I do too. There's no way I could eat lunch in 20 minutes. Not a chance, not even close. So obviously we built in more time for that. And lastly, along this line, when you're a student, create a designated space for yourself. You don't want to have your schoolwork spread out all over the place and have some stuff in your bedroom, some stuff on the kitchen counter, some things that maybe slid under the sofa and you gotta like dust off, So you want to have a designated workspace. And that doesn't mean that you have to even have a desk. but just a space that's yours, that you know where all of your things are, and it feels just like your desk at school. Okay, so So the next topic on the list is, well, what if you're an adult and it's not that school's canceled, but you are expected to telecommute, or maybe you're not expected to telecommute, but you're really not sure what your work life is even looking like. Some of us still have to go into the office. I have a brother who's a journalist, and he has to still go to the office. Some people work in hospitals, and they clearly still have to go to work. So everyone's work situation is going to be different. However, if you find yourself in a situation where your work life has drastically changed in that you are now expected to telecommute or work from home, a lot of the same rules apply for grown-ups as they do for kids. So for me, when I first started working from home, I thought, oh wow, how am I going to do this? Because it's super weird. And I'm so used to getting in the car and having to drive 2 hours, or getting on the train and having to commute 2 hours. Both of which I still do. So I have my work outside of the home on campus, but I also have my work inside the home online. But right now, everything's online. So again, maintain a schedule, write it down, stick to it, put it in your Google Calendar, whatever works for you, whatever tools you're used to using, continue using those, except just use them in your home environment, that's all. And let's see, again, design a special workspace. Doesn't have to be an office per se, but just some space that's yours, that you know where all your stuff is. I'm one of these people, I'm like entropy, like things spread out. I have stuff everywhere. And so I really have to work hard to organize myself, to get everything together. And so I know where everything is, because I can't tell you how many times I've been running out of the house going, oh wait, where's my phone? Oh, hang on, I gotta get my research methods textbook. Oh wait, do I have my phone charger? So yeah, guilty, so guilty of not being super organized, but working from home has made me much better, much better. Not perfect, not even close, but better. All right, let's see. And connect with the people you'd normally connect with on the daily. So if you are normally emailing with people, or chatting on the phone, or having meetings together, all of these same things can be done on this modified kind of working environment, where you're either emailing, chatting on the phone, doing FaceTime, or using Zoom, for example, for your business. But in any case, it's a shift, but you're going to be okay. I promise. I've done it, and it works out all right. So that's like the simple stuff, the work piece and the school piece. Those are all things that are really, really manageable. I think especially where dancers feel the most sense of panic is, my studio's closed, my dance school is closed, and I live in a teeny tiny apartment. I've been there. I've lived in apartments that are the size of like my current living room. So I get it. When you're space limited and you can't go places, you think, what am I going to do? How am I going to get through this? You will. That's the first part. I promise you that you will. There are a lot of dancers. All of us are in that same position with you. So first and foremost, don't panic. You're going to be okay. Second of all, you know your body, you know your mind, you know what you need every single day to feel most yourself. So try to replicate those things. For me, I know that I need conditioning, I know I need to stretch, and I know I need at least a bar. So if I can do those 3 things together, I feel pretty normal. I mean, granted, I'm not going to probably have the space to do a Grand Allegro. Where am I going to do that? I have no idea. But that's okay. I can do it in here. I can do it in here. I can watch all kinds of amazing videos on YouTube and think, again, we will do this and it'll be okay. So don't panic. Let's see. And again, modify your conditioning so that you maintain your strength. I'm doing a lot more feet and ankle strengthening simply because I'm not in class as often as I normally am. a lot of stretching. I'm getting outside and walking a lot. Where I live, it's possible to do that, and so I'm just walking a lot. It helps to clear my mind. It helps to keep my cardiovascular health up, and so that's certainly a bonus. Also, check your online resources for classes. I'm going to be posting some, as I do bar and other kinds of things, I'm going to share those with you, but also check for other resources. There are so many terrific resources for online classes. And let's see, develop an online crew with your current dance mates. Get together on these different online platforms and talk together, show each other what you're doing, what conditioning, what you're doing to kind of stay sane. If you find a cool resource, share that out with your friends, with your peer group. And it doesn't have to be on social media per se, but I mean, that's certainly a good platform. And also, stay positive as much as you can. We're all in this together. And the main thing is that you try to keep things as normal feeling as possible, as closely aligned to your former schedule as possible. Granted, it's going to look very, very different, but if you can keep a similar alignment, it'll really help you through this process. And let's see, then as far as staying sane in anxious times, I mean, this is tough. I'm not going to lie to you. When we first started getting all of these news releases and everything else, I was constantly on my phone. I was constantly checking my news feed. I was like, oh my God, what's the next update? What's next? What's next? What's next? And I was checking my email like every 30 seconds. It was obnoxious. And I realized that, but I thought to myself, okay, what's driving this? What's driving this? And it was, of course, anxiety and fear, two of the biggest things for me that were motivating my behavior. First and foremost, it's important to recognize how you're feeling and to give it a label, to honor that, because you've got to sit down and identify what exactly it is that's going on for you, and then talk to somebody. Talk to your roommate, talk to your partner, talk to your spouse, talk to your parents, talk to whomever's in close proximity who you trust. And if there isn't someone, there are lots of resources. There are plenty of hotlines that you can call in. I'll post some resources at the end for you. But mainly communicate, talk with people. Also, keep your schedule. Stay connected. I mean, can't stay connected in the in-person sense, but stay connected as much as you can, online, talking to people, texting, just normal means of communication that we would do on a daily basis anyway. Also, when I first realized that I wasn't going to be back on campus for probably about 5 weeks at the minimum, and that my son is out of school indefinitely, I thought, okay, what am I going to do? And then I said, oh wait, there are things that I really, really need to do and that I want to do. One of which is to paint a mural in my staircase coming up from downstairs to upstairs, because I just think it would be cool. And it's something I've always said as I'm walking up the stairs, wow, this would be really cool if I painted a mural here. And then I'm too busy. I never ever do it. Another thing is that our doorbell's broken. So I thought, yeah, good time to fix the doorbell. I know these things seem really minor and silly, but I thought, you know what? This is time. I can do this, and I don't have to see anyone. I don't have to be with anyone necessarily when I'm doing these things, and that's really, really good. Also, be kind to yourself. Show yourself loving kindness during this process, because you've got to give yourself permission to feel. You have to give yourself permission to be where you are, and don't feel like you have to change yourself, that you have to change things. It's okay if you're freaked out. It's okay if you're worried. Talk about it. Find someone, find an online community. If you don't have someone that you connect with on the phone or on FaceTime or Skype, just allow yourself to feel what you feel. Be kind to yourself. Don't be judgy. We're not judgy with our friends, right? We're like loving and kind and sweet and supportive, and so be that way to yourself. Try not to be harsh on yourself. It's not going to help. Let's see. Oh, important. Hang on. Always hydrate. But aside from hydrating, if you find yourself scrolling through your social media feeds like crazy, designate a certain period of time during the day that you can scroll like mad, and then make yourself stop at the end of that period. If you want to schedule a half hour where like all you're going to do is look at the news or your Instagram or Facebook or whatever, that's fine. Do that, but schedule a time, and then when you're done, you're done. You know, don't be like me, like I was in the beginning, and I was like walking around with my hand growing a phone. Don't do that. It's really unhealthy. So commit to keeping yourself healthy. Commit to a certain period of time during the day that you'll look at those kinds of things, and then be done with it. Live the rest of your life like you normally would, without contacting other people in person, of course. And let's see. Something I'm asking my students to do is to commit to one activity at their frequency that they decide that's going to contribute to their wellness. And it can be anything that they want or anything that they need. My students at NYU in the fall semester, they have to do a wellness project. And part of that wellness project is recentering on who you are as a person and what makes you feel really good and happy and connected and at peace, whatever it is. And it's always such a magical process because people maybe reconnect with an artistic side of themselves. Maybe they, just take time to slow down and honor just exactly where they are and to just be and not do, So these are all things that we can think about as we traverse this very uncertain time. Commit to yourself, commit to doing something that makes you feel really, really good. And see how you feel. Maybe write it down, check it out over the course of time. And then when our lives resume and we're back to our bustling, busy selves, and we're riding subways and going to meetings and Broadway shows and ballets and all of these other things, maybe try to hold on to one of those little wellness things that you did for yourself during this time. Okay, dancers, well, thank you so much for talking with me today, and don't forget to comment below and like and subscribe. Hope to see you soon. Have an amazing day, and love you all as always. Bye, everybody.